You know, I felt intimidated when I saw the slide up here that said I'm a guest. Right, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, here we go, folks. You want to play with an idea, of course. We'll just play with an idea this morning. Because when I started to prepare for this lesson, and it was just, whatever Spirit wants, you know, I thought, well, I better start writing down some of the notes and thoughts that I had. And I went to my computer, turned it on, everything was fine until I started typing the alphabet. Right? You know how that goes? Nothing works. So you do everything you can. You hit some of those formula. You know the F buttons? Those are formulas to me. I'm sorry, I'm a pharmacist. And you do this, you do that, you pull the plug, whatever, to get something going. And my frustration only grew. Just got worse. Because no matter what I tried, it didn't do anything. Suddenly realized my head was screaming and shouting, saying, no more of this. Not only that, but then there came the picture of me happily taking this laptop and slamming it against the hardest thing I could find. That's never happened to any of you folks, I'm sure. But how is it that we do that? How is it that we move to what Julie said last week is our reptile mind? That little wide place at the top of our spine is our reptile mind. What happened to our human mind? What happened to our spiritual mind? Where are they now? They're not accessible. You can't get there from here. So all that mixture of metal wires and all that plastic that goes together to make a computer can bring me to such a moment is perplexing to me. There's got to be another way, folks. So, of course, I have to turn to Unity and say, what does Unity teach us? Now, Charles and Myrtle never fiddled with computers. But I bet they had frustrations. Yeah. So, I remembered a truth statement that we get in Unity. It is, there is no thing nor no one against me. Tim? And you got to wonder right off the bat, how can this be true? Because my mind has already come up with all these experiences I've had that says, it can't be true. It must be false. So let's play a little bit with truth and falsehoods. And I'm sorry my papers stick together. Only, of course, today, and the other time they'd slide right over. Yeah. So how much of your time and energy is spent protecting yourself? Just go inside and think about that. When you want to protect yourself. Now, an example would be defensive driving. That makes sense because it's okay if you survive, too. Yeah. But what about 50%? Maybe 80% of your time and your energy is just wanting to protect yourself. Now, what would happen if you could reduce that percent of your time and you had that time and you could take it for your own spiritual fulfillment. What would your life look like? It'd be different. Might take some courage, but I bet it'd be more interesting. Maybe even more fun. So I took a moment to examine conflict in my life. I was raised in a family that said, no. No conflict here. We're a happy family. Okay, I'll buy that because I want to survive. But later, I started watching my teachers and the other folks in my life and the other parents of my friends. And they disagree with people, but they never tell them. Ooh, is life a secret? Is it lying? Oh, but maybe the minister would say it was a sin to not tell somebody when you disagreed with them. So, it was beyond me, so I went on to grad school at the age of 40. And there they had us experiment with conflict. We would do that with our fellow students. And wow, how freeing that was for me. I saw more possibilities in my life and my classmates' life. The world began to look a little more friendly and wonderful for me. And then I had the opportunity to take peacemaking skills at Unity Village, and I did that. And in that, you do examine conflict. How I examine conflict in my own intrapersonal. Did you ever believe you had a conflict with yourself? Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. So that helped me get more comfortable as well. But to get the answers to these questions I had back in my childhood, I wound up becoming a student of nonviolent communications, and that may not be news for you, but I like to call it compassionate communication because as I learn more and more about how to take care of myself, I learn more about other folks and how we can be compassionate with each other, not enemies. So I just wanted to tell you that we're still meeting every other Monday down in the YOU room, and if you've had introductions or training workshops in NVC, you're welcome to come to our meetings. They're practice meetings, and they're that on purpose. They're self-facilitated, and they're just great for keeping track of yourself within and without. I'm talking about, or from, this book. Dr. Reverend Gary Simmons wrote this book some time ago. And he wrote it because it introduces peacemaking to people who are interested in peacemaking. And maybe you've got sort of an idea of what this book is about. When you read down here, embracing conflict, creating peace. Sometimes we can be more afraid of the conflict than we are of the person or the topic or whatever's going on. So how do we stay calm? We're in the midst of that storm, whether it's inside, as it was for me with the computer, my mind going kind of crazy, happily wanting to destroy something, or whether it's with someone else. another person or a group of people. So there's two things that we have to start to look at, two basic things to begin to find what's going on. And Gary talks about, first, an awareness of our resistance. And that's what keeps us separated from God. You notice that? When I'm frustrated at my computer, how connected to God do you think I was? Yeah. Yeah, you know. I see you nodding. Yeah. The second thing is learning to live from our center where we respond from our own wholeness and worth. We just sang a song about wholeness and worth. Yeah, group song. Well, if we look at resistance, we know that resistance comes out of fear. Fear comes from past issues that eventually get integrated into our BS. Now you think I said something dirty, don't you? No, I didn't. Our BS is our belief system. Okay? Our belief system. So that's where we need to begin to look at what's going on. What's going on in conflict? What were you taught about winning or of losing? What would you need to make it possible for you to disagree with someone or something and be okay? What would you have to do to stay calm when that storm is raging or wanting to rage within you or outside of you? This is where, living from our center, we respond from our wholeness and worth. This is what Gary's talking about. We have a choice, but maybe we didn't realize it, like I lost my mind with the computer. We do have a choice, but we must understand that the center is both a place and a potentiality out of which harmony and balance can occur. It is a place within where forces of personality and soul interact to create spiritual growth and transformation. On the surface, this place may look and feel, stormy at times. I don't know about you, but it does. It really feels that way. But we have a capacity to experience the storm from our center. That's the eye of the storm. You know, the I am. The I am. The Christ center. There you find God. Notice that your belief system comes up time and time again in sorting out who you truly are and how you choose to relate consciously to any situation. When you're aware of your wholeness, there's only one relationship in your life. God. God the good. Now, with any truth, the first thing, or what somebody tells me is their truth, and I'm a little cautious initially. The first thing I want to do is find which of our 5 principles that truth falls into. So, Tim, I bet everybody's figured it out. There's only one. And we're connected to that one. Where's the conflict? within. Where's the conflict within? So that's why it's so important to know what our purpose is. What have you come here to be? You're on this earth, in this time, this place. And what have you come here to be? Unity's answer is the Christ of God, meaning a whole and complete expression of God. Gary puts it this way in page 117. You see, until you take the complete ownership of purpose, being the Christ of God, you will not find inner peace or wholeness. Right now, let's do a little experiment of our own. I invite you, if you would, to say, I am the way of God. Out loud, please. I am the way of God. Again. I am the way of God. How does that feel? Now, Gary says you're either the way of God or you're in the way of God. Again, your choice. The next thing we need to look at is our non-resistance, which is the seat of our wholeness and our contact point between heaven and earth. Remember our metaphysics there? Between the field of infinite possibilities and the needs of the particular situation. And we learn that non-resistance and communion are overlapping attributes, that being present to life without any conditions means being connected to our experience, to whatever is happening in the moment, without pushing it away or throwing it away the way I was going to do that computer. There is no thing and no one against you. That's the truth. That's all I intend for you. To know as you move through your days that you know that there is nobody and no thing, not even a computer, that is against you. And that we demonstrate the power of and presence of God in every situation when we fear most, like I did first coming up here. Okay? So I invite you to take communion, to be with me in the moment. We're going into meditation now as David begins to play for us. Let's go straight into that communion. To make yourself comfortable, opening your mind and your heart, moving to the secret place of the Most High. That sacred place where the Christ of your being in your center resides. We allow the wisdom of God to enter into our knowing. For we know the universe is for us. It wants to bless us now as we are able to receive. With God for us, who could be against us? We now commune, entering the silence. Our listening is coming to a close smoothly, gently, easily. And as it does, we notice our gratitude rises within us. Our gratitude has been from the experience of having seen, heard, or felt the one presence. We are so blessed. We are peace. With deepest gratitude, we are thankful for all the blessings we have just received. And so it is. Amen.